Today we're gonna make the world's best
veggie burger and oven roasted fries. It is 8:20. I've just walked in from work, and tonight we're making the best mushroom, pecan, and lentil burgers in the world. Food 52 vegan cookbook. We're slowly making our way through this, and every time I've made these burgers, they've been great. And I follow the recipe sometimes, and I've made them so many times. Don't even need the recipe.
I just want to say the fact that Eden just realized she does need the recipe and immediately took it off the fridge the second after she put it down.
Okay, so we're going to start by frying up some garlic and onion. Basically how I start all recipes, because I cook a lot of vegetarian and vegan food and they don't have a lot of flavor otherwise.
Okay, while Eden's doing that, I'm going to start on the...
Wait, we need wine first.
Okay, apparently we need wine first.
8:20.
And while Eden's pouring the wine, I'm going to get started on the world's best oven roasted french fries. Oven to, I don't know, 425, 450, somewhere right in the middle, because you're just not confident enough that you just split the difference.
Cheers.
To our first cooking show. Alright, since we're on a tiny kitchen, I guess we do need to put away some dishes first. Before we can really do anything.
Yeah.
Penny, can you do the dishes for us? Wow. Look at all that space. We don't have to chop onions on the stove.
I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Alright, so we're doing a nice mixture of red and white potatoes here. I don't know, white, russet. Is there any difference between them?
Yeah, one's red, one's russet.
No, white and russet.
Yeah. No, one's yellow and one's russet, actually.
Alright, so we're doing half red potatoes for that nice bit of sweetness, half russet potatoes for that nice bit of russet, and I'm chopping them to, let's say half-inch cubes. But you don't have to be super diligent with your sizes. You know, you got the nice variety of crispy ones, slightly undercooked ones, just that little bit of character that gives home cooking its real competitive advantage.
Love my raw potatoes.
So this is about the size of... Oh wait, we're making fries. We're not making home fries.
What are you doing?
Okay, so I guess we're gonna have some home fries.
He's nervous, he's
I haven't
camera
made these in a
shy.
little while. Alright, so what you're gonna want to do is, if you've already cut some discs, cut those into wedges. On a fresh potato, we're just gonna do some wedges that look the right size. That's how I do it. So I don't know, they don't have to be full pie chart wedges. You can get a little free form with it. But the key here is you don't want them so thick that they're gonna take forever to cook, because we want these to be done within a reasonable amount of time because we are hungry.
Because it's 8:20.
Yeah, so that's a reasonable size potato wedge. And these will probably cook in about the same amount of time. Potatoes are coming along. We have 2 cutting boards going.
Yeah.
Eden, what are you working on right now?
Alright, so I've just heated up some oil in a pan.
Olive oil or vegetable oil?
Olive oil.
For the flavor.
For the flavor. Don't know how much olive oil it was, but it was some. Now, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of onions. I didn't do my grocery shopping properly, and I only had 1 onion, but whatever. It's fine. Who really cares about the amount that goes into things? So I'm just gonna get these juicing for about 8 minutes.
Juicing.
Juicing.
The classic term for cooking onions.
Yeah, no, that, when you just walk into a kitchen, like, what's that smell? I'm like, ooh, it's my onions juicing.
Oh, we're juicing. We got some onions juicing in the pan.
Anyway, these are gonna cook for about 8 minutes, and then I'll be back with my next round of ingredients.
Alright, and I'll keep chopping these potatoes.
In the right sizes, because you're making French fries.
We got a lot of
Home
chopping
fries.
strategies going on right here. We got the potatoes all chopped in here. Sometimes I might use a glass roasting dish for these, but I like to think when you use a metal pan, you get a little more crispiness, a little more of that delicious French fry quality that you really want. Yeah, so we're going metal on this. Really important whenever you're roasting something that you want a nice crispy outside, you don't want to overcrowd whatever you're roasting. This is borderline. I would call this right on the edge of too many potatoes for the pan. Yeah, Eden's doing it right. We can spread these out a little bit. We can make it a little more, give everyone a little more elbow room.
What is this?
This is an accidental home fry. But any more than this, and everything might turn out a little more wet than we want.
This is my favorite kitchen utensil. It's the green rubber spatula.
Wait, can you have a better opening than that? This is my favorite kitchen utensil.
I just want to talk about my favorite kitchen utensil.
Go for it.
The green rubber spatula. I use it for literally everything. You can call up my old roommate and they will attest to the fact that I used to spoon soup with my rubber spatula. Also the slotted spoon. I just really like my rubber spatula.
Good job, spatula.
So here we have some, it's dripping. Here we have some beautiful organic cremini mushrooms.
Wow, those are beautiful.
Look,
those are like the quintessential mushroom.
Look, and I love how there's such different sizes because they're organic and size doesn't matter. So I'm going to chop them up and add them to the onions in a few minutes.
Alright, so the potatoes have been sequestered to the other room where the lighting is very different because we're starting to run a little low on counter space. Next up we need to do here is oil the pan. And this is where the magic really happens. So we're going to make a flavored oil based for all these fries. It's going to be awesome. Eden, you know what I think is one of the most useful cooking tips I learned from you?
Always use a green rubber spatula.
That might be it, but the other one might be the fact that if you use olive oil in the oven and you're roasting at a really high temperature, it'll start smoking. And if you have a little tiny kitchen like ours, it'll fill up with smoke really quickly. And your smoke alarm will go off, and then your cooking isn't as fun.
True.
So I'm going to make this basting. Moral of the story is we're going to do this with vegetable oil, not olive oil. So the seasoned oil mixture is pretty easy to remember because it's just equal parts of everything. So we are going to do vegetable oil, onion powder. I would say equal parts chili powder, but I learned the hard way that this particular chili powder is really hot. So we're just going to add a little, alright, even that might be pretty spicy. And garlic powder. Now, I don't actually have garlic powder, we have garlic salt, but that's really easy fix. We can just not use as much salt. Then we'll add a little bit of salt. Eden, could you add some pepper to that for me? Ooh, look at that restaurant level skill. That's gourmet serving experience, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, is that enough?
Yeah, because we're almost out of pepper anyway. Penny, you are being such a huge help in the kitchen. Thank you so much.
What a cute guy.
Oh wow, you're actually coming in the room. Alright, Eden, go for it.
Alright, so onions have been cooking for about 8 minutes. Actually, I don't know how long they've been cooking, but they're brown, which is good. So we're going to add the other ingredients now.
The key is that they look right.
They look great. They're smelling delicious. So I'm going to add approximately 4 cups of mushrooms. Now that's
4 cups of chopped mushrooms?
4 cups of chopped mushrooms, yeah. So I just chopped all the mushrooms that I had purchased. And I'm hoping they're approximately 4 cups. I have to say, usually when it comes to like stir fry, pasta sauce, like stuff like that, I don't care too much about quantities. But when it comes to veggie burgers, consistency can be very finicky. So I do try and stick to proportions, kind of. Anyway, 4-ish cups of mushrooms, and then we have 4 cloves of garlic plus 1 for good luck, which is how I always cook with garlic.
We live in a garlicky household.
We live in a garlicky household. Come kiss me. Alright, now what we're going to do, I gotta check my recipe.
I can't believe you said you weren't going to have to check this recipe.
So I grew up, I'll mention this many times, without measuring spoons. So this
I always forget about that.
This was a teaspoon in my household. So when I cook, I usually don't use measuring spoons. I use them when I bake, but not when I cook. Anyway, so we're going to do 2 teaspoons of this stuff called thyme.
Thyme, okay.
Thyme.
I thought you were just going to not say what it was.
Guess the spice. And we're going to do 1 teaspoon of oregano. Blah, blah, blah. And then we're just going to cook that down for about 5 minutes. And then we'll see what it looks like.
Alright, so now we're just going to baste our fries with that wonderful, flavorful oil. And there's no reason to be stingy with this stuff. Basically just want to use all of it. Get everything covered. And once I have it all covered, I'll give everything a toss, make sure all the sides are covered, and we're ready to go into the oven. You give it a little shake, and that gets the oil under everything. And we're ready to go into the oven. Now, not sure exactly how long those are cooked for, but I'll check them in about 20 minutes, give them a little stir, see how tender they are, and then we'll go from there. We want very crispy.
So what I'm going to do next with this food processor is blend half a cup of walnuts, pecans?
Some sort of nut.
Some sort of nut. The recipe calls for one, I have the other. These are pecans.
Those are walnuts.
These are walnuts.
Are you serious?
The recipe calls for pecans.
These are clearly walnuts.
No, I think these are... Yeah. These are walnuts. These are walnuts. The recipe calls for pecans. I'm cooking with walnuts. It's not going to matter. And I'm just going to grind them up into a fine powder. I open the fridge, Penny's like, gonna get me some fridge food. And then I'm like, alright Penny, gotta close the fridge.
Look how helpful she is.
And she's like, you're destroying my livelihood.
Livelihood?
Let me stay in the fridge. What a cute thigh. Oh.
Incroyable.
My mushroom mixture is almost done, so I'm going to start adding everything else to the food processor. So we have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Uno. Dos. Got 1 tablespoon of soybean paste, aka miso. Lama miso. And then we're going to do a cup of cooked lentils.
Luckily, we have exactly a cup of cooked lentils from earlier this week.
Give or take exactly a cup. Cooked lentils. And then what we're going to do is, I told you I'd say what it would look like. So yeah, it's just kind of like browned. Mushrooms are soft.
It looks cooked.
It looks cooked.
That's all you need to know. All right, we're about a glass of wine deep now. I'm feeling bold. We're just going to turn the oven up to 450 for the fries.
We can play some nice jazz music right here. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to pulse this. Pulse. Until it is mixed, but still got some chunkiness to it.
You want to have some personality.
Some personality. You know what it looks like?
Throw up?
Poop. Take my favorite kitchen utensil and just get the stuff on the outside to the inside.
Wow, filming cooking is really fun.
It's actually looking pretty good consistency. I'm just gonna do a little bit more. Alright, that's pretty perfect. And now I'm going to add 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. We have panko, so I'm going to use panko.
Missing the cup there a lot.
Yeah, but I figure it's a cup and they're looking for 1.5 cups, so it will all come out in the wash. And then we're going to put in some black pepper and then mix it all up.
Penny, what do you think of all this? How do you think this is going to turn out?
But it's not meat. I don't want it.
Oh, she found something on the floor to eat. All right, it's been 20 minutes-ish. Let's check in on the fries. Do not look done by any means, but we'll give them a little turn. Get all the crispy bits exposed. Back in it goes. Are you still filming? If you could boil it all down, what's the key to a good veggie burger?
Miso.
Really?
Yeah. It adds a really nice amount of saltiness and umami. And that's usually the thing that's missing from a veggie burger is umami. So yeah, I think all the veggie burgers that have miso in it is really good. Also, I have made these veggie burgers where I've chopped everything because I didn't have a food processor, and then they just kind of fall apart. So they taste really good, but definitely having a food processor, Cuisinart KitchenAid Magic Bullet, that definitely makes a really big difference. To form the burgers, what I do is I just start by...
Wait, this kitchen is too crowded.
It's too crowded. I just start by forming a ball with the dough, and then I press it down to about 1.5 centimeters thick, and then I just kind of tuck in the spare bits along the side. So this recipe is supposed to make 4 to 6, and I've always been an A student, so I've made 5.
Eden, are we gonna bake or fry these veggie burgers?
So normally I like doing both. I like getting a little crispiness and then popping them in the oven, but somebody decided to make French fries, which I'm very happy about. So I'm just gonna fry these guys tonight. So what I've done is just heated up some veg oil, because it's gonna be, I want the pan pretty hot.
You wanna make sure you melt your spatula while you're at it?
Yeah, just a little spatula action. Like most kitchen utensils, it can't actually melt.
Yes, it can. You can definitely melt a spatula on the stove. I've done it before.
You know what you can melt on the stove, Morley?
Silicone.
A toaster oven.
Oh yeah, I did that a couple days ago.
So I'm gonna get the pan nice and hot, do the old water flicking trick. Sizzle!
Ooh, that's hot.
That's hot. And then we're gonna get all these bad boys in there.
Yeah, when your fork goes through that easily, you know they're ready.
Do you know how long that was?
I would say 35 minutes.
So the French fries came out, so I was able to turn the oven down to 375. So I've gotten a nice brown on these bad boys. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 15 minutes or until we want to eat. It just it dries them out a little bit more, so they have like a little bit of a firmer texture, which I really like. So it's just kind of a preference. You can just do like 4 minutes frying, or you can cook them for 30 minutes in the oven. So this is like, you get the crispy and it doesn't take so long.
These need a little bit of salt. You know, don't be ashamed if after you make it you realize, yeah, these fries need a little more salt. Just part of the game. Sometimes you gotta season after you cook. You can't get it perfect every time. Alright, for our buns, we are using some of Eden's delicious sourdough, which hopefully we'll be covering in a future video. Proof that I melted the toaster. And I just dumped crumbs everywhere. You gotta toast your buns. You can't not toast your buns. They're infinitely better toasted.
You said so many dirty things tonight.
This is a little crowded of a toaster. I'm gonna tone it back a little bit and just go 2 pieces of bread at a time. That was a little bit. Alright, what do we got for our first condiment?
So first up we got some old cheddar, and the burger's still warm, so hopefully we get some melty action. Sliced pickle. Lettuce. Heinz ketchup. Moutarde. Mayo. Mash it all together. What do you get? A little bit older and a nice burger.
Alright, full disclosure, we also wanted to add tomatoes and red onion, but there were no tomatoes and red onion at the supermarket. But tomatoes and red onion would be a fantastic addition.
Ooh, the potatoes!
Yeah, let's finish building it. Nice healthy dollop of fries. Look at that crispiness. Ooh-wee!
Woo!
We are in Canada, so you gotta do mayonnaise and ketchup. Look at that.
These are really good. They're really good potatoes, but they're just like super crispy. And the spices make it like really nice. Very, very flavorful. I would eat these as French fries or home fries.
Yeah, I didn't get any home fries. Oh no, I got one. It's right there.
Do you want one of mine? I got a bunch.
I have the much messier bite to take.
How is it?
Oh my god, what happened? That's really good. First of all, sourdough. Incredible. Eden makes great sourdough. And the burgers are great. I think the thyme adds a lot of really nice umami and like meatiness as well. Yeah, they're great. World's best veggie burgers. Good job.
The key is that you have the bun is bigger than the burger.
Yeah, we went a little undersized in the buns.
It's so good. They're like everything you want in a veggie burger. They have texture. So you got it from like the lentils and the mushrooms and the breadcrumbs, like these different textures. They have layers of flavor. They're filling. They're like staying together like pretty well. Not like a complete mess. I would eat this on a first date. I really don't know what else I could want out of a veggie burger. Like I could eat it by itself, or I can eat it on a burger with like other toppings. But like these are pretty good.
I would say they're really good. I would almost say they're the world's best. World's best.
World's best. So Penny, we cooked. So you're gonna do the dishes, right?
Right?
Right?